Well, I think we're back after that sort of delay. Apologies to everybody. There were some issues with the conviction top laners, like some issues with some of the connectivity or account issues around there. So unfortunately, we did have a bit of a pause, but I think we're back. Players are about ready to get into draft RMC, and yeah, I mean, we talked a lot about both these teams headed into this. I'm just ready for the draft.
Likewise, I just want to see what happened because you can't do this to us, right? You tease us with the bans, you take away the Kog'Maw that we're all waiting for here. We see, like the 80 carry bans focused, and then nothing. Xin Zhao is available, is pickable. What else is particularly met? Diana is up and available. Draven, a possibility for Arrow, and then just nothing. Come on, guys.
Well, hopefully we see those picks in just a little bit, but before we do so, gotta thank some of our sponsors here at Explorer Edmonton. Edmonton is a catalyst for change, and we're not just talking about the change you find in your sofa or in your pockets. Our dream team will work with yours to take your vision and turn it into an unforgettable one for your delegates. How? With creative solutions, a can-do attitude, and a citywide network of doers and achievers and eager to roll up their sleeves and get things done. If you want to learn more, go to exploreredmonton.com. Man, so many different stuff going on in Canada, and yeah, it's just a lot of NorQuest, Edmonton. I mean, yeah, a lot of support here up north.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Canadian myself, so I'm really glad to see that we are getting some support in the esports scene here. Love to see it, college scene as well. The collegiate scene, I think, is lacking some Canadian presence here, so would love to see more of us down there in the general collegiate scene, even the amateur scene as well. Actually, there's quite a few Canadians, but we don't really have like a Canadian team.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I think, what is it? Mirage is like some Canadian org. I don't think all the players necessarily are Canadian though, but I'm not sure. There is University of Western Ontario, which Winston was formerly a part of actually last year. So it's a bit on the other side of where you are RMC, all the way over to the east. But I mean, it's something, it's something.
Yeah, you know what? It's all one big country here, and literally a big country because it's quite a drive
it's a very
out there.
big country.
But we take what we can get. I don't know what's going on, Grapes. The team still haven't quite hit the start game button yet here, and you know what? At this point, I'm almost ready to start taking bets on whose fault, which player is holding us up here.
Oh man, I mean, we thought it was by Yunsin, but I mean, at this point, I mean, who really knows? It's a bit hard to I mean, I'm not in the lobby right now. I guess you have maybe a little more insight than me, but
nope, I don't. I really don't.
I mean, if we don't know anything, I mean, unfortunately, that means we can't relay the information to you. We're working our hardest here at NorQuest to get you guys some illegal Legends action as soon as possible, but it looks like we're just gonna have to wait just a little bit longer for this draft to start up.
Yeah, you know what? Before we even look at the draft, Grapes, but why don't we take some guesses here, some bets as to what's gonna happen. So why don't we take a gander at or a guess at where First Blood's coming down? Because WILDCARD has been able to pick up First Blood, I think, in almost every single game so far, and a lot of that has been around their mid lane jungle duo. So, do you think this game we're gonna see First Blood mid jungle again for WILDCARD?
I think it's the safest bet. If I'm trying to make it spicy, maybe bot lane 2v2, Nightstar and Danistar, maybe get a pick or something level 1, depending on the sort of composition that they draft out of.
No composition. Just off the players, what we know of them or what we don't know of them. Just call. I'm gonna
go bot lane. It's gonna be bot lane. Oh, I'm back. Bot lane, Nightstar and Danistar are gonna get that 2v2 against Arrow and Daption. First Blood onto Daption, and then Arrow will like flash away or something under the tower. That's my guess.
Okay. You know what? My guess is Bayunsin dies first, and we get First Blood in top lane for either Brandini or Winston here. Hold up. Has a miracle happened? We are in draft here, Grapes. Finally, after all that time. And bans, hopefully the bans were right.
Imagine they just changed, and then we spent all this time talking about what's going to happen, and just okay, the Kog'Maw's gone. So that was one of the crucial talking points that we were mentioning, RMC. So hopefully things kind of just remain the same. Reminder, it was also Kalista and Varus on the other side for conviction. WILDCARD targeting that Lulu and Viego.
Yeah, I was, part of me was kind of hoping, Grapes, that maybe they just redid the draft and that's what was taking them so long, and Kog'Maw somehow makes it through. Doesn't happen though, and like we said, Xin Zhao's still open, Diana's still open, and oh right, I forgot. Okay, they're drafting in order, so it wasn't a Camille first pick, but it is going to be a Camille Renekton top lane, which is probably a bit more active than what we've been seeing today.
Yeah, pretty volatile lane matchup. There's a Xin Zhao you were talking about. I believe that was probably picked up first, just considering the priority that is on that pickup usually. And a new look here for Only going for this LeBlanc. Response for wildcard will be that Zoe over for for Bradley, and Winston on the Olaf, a champion that was banned against him twice against Supernova earlier.
Yeah, interestingly enough, usually when we see things like the Olaf or the Xin Zhao, it's quite normal to see it paired with an Enchanter support. Lulu was banned, but Karma was available, Seraphine was available. We're not seeing that here. So it looks like both teams are going for a lot of, I don't want to call it selfish, but a lot of agency, a lot of self-priority here where anybody can really carry. All the picks we're seeing so far can just absolutely take off. And I especially like this LeBlanc pick here for Only. LeBlanc is such a strong champion right now. And even into the likes of Zoe here, the LeBlanc can do a lot to the Zoe. You can burst them down. And more importantly, you can match that mobility that Zoe does have in her kit.
Yeah, and that LeBlanc, well, it's not, you know, the Graves or the Lucian that we saw in some of the series that they had against AoE, only on another assassin, another person that likes to get into your face to do a whole lot of damage. And so excited to see him on this assassin pickup. Bot lane for Conviction though will be a little bit different. Instead of being that hard carry for Nightstar in the AD form, gonna be actually a Ziggs combined with that Braum for Venusaur.
Okay, that is an interesting change up here. I mean, Ziggs is a great champion, and we talked a bit about Ziggs before when we did see it, the fact that it does well into a lot of these current meta AD carries, Aphelios included, but it's also not what we've seen of Nightstar. Nightstar has been one of the hard carries for his team. He's playing champions that can absolutely just take over a game, like the Jinx, like the Tristana, like the Kog'Maw, or like the Misfortune. Now, he has played a lot of Ziggs in solo queue, so I have no doubt he's practiced on it. I just don't think that this bot lane is going to be the focus of the early game anymore. So sorry to your prediction, Graves. Doesn't look like it's happening.
I got to see the draft. I guess that's why we ended up doing that prediction anyway, because we couldn't see the draft. But
yes,
I mean, it's all right. It's all right. You're gonna probably just be safe play around the bot side for Conviction, as you mentioned, RMC. But up in the top lane, that's a volatile matchup. Camille against Renekton, and by Yunsen and Yuli are going to try and do their best to potentially try and snowball up top. For the side of Wildcard, they still have this Aphelios, so another bot laner with a lot of good setup here for ganks, and Winston on the Olaf will have early priority to kind of do a lot of different things.
Yeah, and this is a bit of a change up. I mean, the Aphelios for Arrow, that's par for the course, but Galio for Adaption here, usually we see the Thresh paired with the Aphelios, and Thresh was open. It actually wasn't banned throughout this entire pick ban phase, so they opted to deny away that Galio, and for good reason, because there was the Camille already picked, I'm assuming at this point. Camille Galio, that's bread and butter combo right there. You pair it with a Ziggs as well, and suddenly whoever gets caught by that Camille is guaranteed to die. There's just no way you survive the burst damage, and it can come from literally anywhere on the map. The fact that the Mega Inferno Bomb is basically a semi-global Galio's Heroes entrance, also a semi-global there, and I don't fault Daption for picking this Galio.
Yeah, and this Galio works really well with the composition that Wildcard have set up for themselves. I mean, she provides a lot of good peel and also a decent amount of engage for Arrow to go aggressive here. And with that Olaf for Winston running in, that Hero's entrance on top can provide for some beautiful engages here, but focusing more again onto this bot lane, because it's kind of been the focal point for both of these teams. It's interesting to see Nightstar, the player that Conviction have been kind of putting all the marbles into, go for, once again, a more of a supportive style. It's not the Zillion, it's not the Soraka that we saw out of Rovex earlier, but instead of going for one of those hard carries, it's going to be the Ziggs to try and wave clear, try and maybe take some turrets later on.
With the Ziggs here, it almost feels like you're picking a less interactive lane. You're not looking to outplay or to necessarily bully out Arrow here. Your skilling is going to match, and it's about the zoning with the Ziggs for the most part here, right? Ziggs is one of the premier zoning champions, and we saw it in, I believe it was the Supernova versus Champions game in the quarterfinals, right? Where the Ziggs got a ton of poke down. and just controlled that Elder Dragon so well here. And I'm expecting to see the same from Nightstar, because that is how a Ziggs takes over a game. It's not about the Mega Inferno bombs. That's set up from someone else, and you're just pumping the damage out. It's more about the poke that you throw out with your smaller bombs and with the zoning you get with your minefield.
Yeah, the zoning from Nightstar is going to be important here, considering the amount of range that the rest of this team ends up having here. And as we take a look over Summoner's Rift, RMC, I'm just excited to get to cast some League of Legends again, because it's been a bit of a minute, to say the least. And Bayunsin on the top lane did have some issues with the account and some of his computers, and maybe if he wants to fix that, you can head over to Memory Express, one of the sponsors here for this tournament, Canada's premier destination for computer products all the way since 1996, serving Canada with 14 stores across the nation for the past 25 years. They're ready to serve you in store and online. If you want to check them out, maybe shout out to Bayunsin over here, go to memoryexpress.com.
Ooh boy, yeah, and you know what? Bayunsin needs to win this finals to get the money to pay for all the upgrades.
Very true.
There's quite a few that will be needed here. Hopefully we will be onto the Rift soon. And you know what? Last time we didn't get to see that level 1 invade, because it was game 3 of a best of 3 when all the chips were down. It's game 1 of a new best of 3. And if you're not, confident in, if you want a little bit of cheese, you want to spice things up, why not go for level 1? Oh, and it looks like I might have cut out again. Can you hear me, Grapes?
Yes, I can. Okay.
Perfect.
Just wanted to make sure, again, like there was one time I think where I just only lost you, and then you were talking, and then I tried to interrupt you, so I don't want to... if you had a point that was going on the stream, I didn't want to, interrupt it, but good to have you back.
Oh, good. The point I was making was I want to see level 1, Grapes. It's the same point I've been making for most of this tournament.
Level 1 would be fun. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen some action, but we're finally here on Summoner's Rift. It's the finals of the NorQuest Esports Series League of Legends Champions Division. Conviction Summer will be on your blue side, Wildcard Red on the red side. Once again, best of 3. Winner takes home that big $2,500 prize pool. Right off the bat, Arrow Adaption going a bit aggressive, but I don't know, RMC. I'm just ready to watch some League again.
Yeah, what was that, a 20-30 minute pause, unfortunately, while we had to start things out. No level 1 looking like it's coming out. We're not even seeing wards come out, surprisingly, here. We've seen a lot of those early yellow trinkets down and then switching to the sweeper to get control, but none of that this game, and that worries me a little bit, because if you're just going to play defensively, then that's when you go for the yellow trinkets. As I say that, though, wards go down, junglers have switched to sweepers.
Oh, there's a cue from Dinosaur, Adaption, and Arrow once again going for another aggressive play, potentially on the invade. The rest of Conviction have joined the fray to zone off this wildcard bot lane, and without Winston to help him out, just going to be Arrow and Adaption making their way back over, as Winston is going to start at his blue buff.
And interestingly, no leash coming out from Arrow and Adaption here. They're looking to try and control this lane right away from level 1. And you can do that with an Olaf. The Olaf is safe to solo things up. You'll get kind of low, but low health on Olaf just means faster clear.
Yeah, it's always a bit of a risk that you take, but Winston will probably just try to get as low as possible, work with those W's, and try and get a lot of that attack speed, a lot of those clears. And right off the bat, we're seeing Yuli go, instead of down to the Krugs, down over to the Raptors, potentially going to go for some early level 3 ganking up to the top lane.
That's pretty normal for a lot of junglers that they don't clear the Krugs. It just takes so long to do because you've got to wait for them to kind of pop and then spawn the new ones and so on and so forth. So if you're looking for faster clear, that's what you do. Top side though, Bayunsin's taking a pounding right now from Renekton, and it's kind of what you expect in this lane. Renekton should win early on, and then the Camille starts to take over in the later game.
Well, it was a W start by Yunsin up there, so the tactical sleep was enough to get a decent amount of health back, and now both of the top laners are sitting at about even footing with the wave crashing in. Yunsin is going to pick up a decent chunk of the CS. Brandini was not able to pick up a lot of it because of the amount of, oppression that he was inflicting onto Yunsin's Camille. With both junglers pathing towards his top side, though, RMC, both of them have to be a bit careful.
Yeah, you know what? Judging by how the game's gone, I don't think the junglers will get involved. I think they might just go for kills right now.
There's one more auto. Flash forward. Brandini with first blood, but the ignite plus the turret shot from Bayunsin will secure the return kill, and just on cue, the junglers have made their way up to the top side. Teleport going to be here for Bayunsin. We'll see if Brandini uses his as well. Actually does, but it's going to be on a ward. Now Yuli has been spotted out. Level 4 already achieved by Winston, but Yuli is going forward. Going to land the 3 talent strike first. Winston going to flash, get the final undertow to get the kill. Now, can Bayunsin get one in return? Omni is on the way. The Winds of War from Daption will buy some time. Omni dashes forward with the distortion. Winston ticking below 100 HP, but not enough. With Houdini, Brandini puts the magic trick somehow. Gets a kill onto the Conviction mid laner off of that play. Nice rotation from Wildcard. They get 2 straight after the trade.
Forget Houdini, Brandini. It's Houdini Winston. How did he get out of that trap? He didn't die. That is absolutely insane. And that's one of the problems you have to deal with against an Olaf. And now they're setting up for another dive. But Bayunsin smells it coming, is backing up, but he's lost all control. Wait, Bradley's up here as well?
It's 4 members. Even Daption, all the way from the bot lane, has stayed around top to just pressure and pressure this Camille up in the top side. Flash already from Bradley, gonna land the Sleepy Trouble bubble.
Drowsy.
The double teleports coming out from Conviction to try and punish.
Okay,
and it's only Daption ticking really low. So is Winston. Finally, the Satchel Charge will pick up a kill onto the Olaf. Bradley is ticking low as well. One more bomb would have done the deal, but the flash out from the Zoe will save his life for now. And it's a bit of a strange situation that Conviction have set themselves up in. They got 1 kill in return, but now Yuli fighting Arrow on the backside. Prox Conqueror getting the smite to get the level up. Have the Gravitum here for Arrow, so we can try to buy some time. And picks up the Flamethrower, but it's not enough. Yuli will get the solo kill onto the bot side, punishing Arrow for that push.
There was so much happening topside. Wildcard, I think, lost track a little bit of where Yuli was. Did not think about the possibility of Arrow being punished for being very, very overextended there. And despite how everything started going Wildcard's way, the kill score is a bit more even. Conviction were able to answer most of it in terms of the pressure. And in CS-wise, they're actually not losing out too badly. It's really only in the jungle that Yuli is down from Winston.
Yeah, only a 1,000 gold lead so far for Wildcard Red. I say only, but I mean, it's still a decent amount, but compared to what it could have been, especially considering that this is Wildcard Red that we are talking about, not too bad for Conviction Summer. Having gold in 3 of the main carries already in terms of kills is not too bad for the Conviction squad. They're just going to have to see if they can push this advantage further moving forward.
And for most of the map right now, it is fairly even for the most part. The top side exchange didn't change much, but for the top laners, it did change a lot right now. And Bayunsin is down a level, down about 1,000 gold. The gold gap is pretty much solely in that top side. You don't have teleport. You do still have the ignite though, but it's probably not enough for you to win these early trades here. So I expect to see Wildcard continue to punish this Camille, just get some early kills onto Winston that way.
And Brandini just gonna do it himself potentially. One more auto would have done it, but Yuli's here as well. May be able to do it. Gonna flash forward with the dash. Wind becomes lightning as well, but Brandini just hit 6, just gets the dominance. Tactical sweep forward from Bayunsin is not enough, and Winston has joined the party as well. A double kill for the Viking, and Wildcard Red come out on top in the 2v2.
That's that level lead difference right there, and it felt like Conviction wasn't ready for it. They didn't realize how far behind Bayunsin is right now, so it felt like they're trying to track the level 6 off of Bayunsin, and it definitely didn't work. This top side, they can repeat that dive. And if you remember back to the semifinals games, Brandini could proxy between turrets, and he can do it again. That's a 2-level lead right now over this Camille.
It's not been a fun time here for Bayunsin. Maybe Brandini's punishing them for making us wait so long here off of one of those ID changes. And ultimates are available for Winston. Has that Ragnarok and just gonna be a hook shot away from Bayunsin. The place will just continue to go down and down. RMC, we were talking about how, you know, Wildcard likes to play around the bot side, so does Conviction, but right now this game is all about the top lane, and right now it's all working for Wildcard.
Yeah, again, with that proxy, I mean, we did see Yuli start up the dragon here. There's no response, because Wildcard don't care about this bot side of the map whatsoever. They're confident that Arrow will be fine, will be able to farm up, and they're not looking to make early plays down here. They just want Arrow to hit that sort of 2-item
oh my god,
potentially.
It's so brutal. He's not even allowed to walk into lane. Not even allowed to walk into the jungle. It's just Winston and Brandini saying, Arrow, you're good enough. You're good. You're good, bud. You don't need any of our help. We're just gonna just dominate this top lane and might actually get punished for it here. Daption getting chunked a bit. Moonlight Vigil is available, sorry, for Arrow. Pops the heal. Gonna use that ulti right now with the red-white guns. Not enough damage to take down any members of Conviction. Daption gets out with his life, but once again, trade of plates down in this bottom lane. They will get 3, but they will probably push faster with that Ziggs with the satchel.
I like this adaptation from Conviction, actually. Since Bayunsin couldn't play in the top lane, they rotated him to mid lane, got Omni to gank the bot side, flash forward onto Yuli.
Oh, Winston says, what are you doing in my jungle? Just because I was gone for a while doesn't mean you're allowed to come back. Oh, Yuli doesn't even get the blue buff. Oh, he tried for something, was not able to get it. Winston makes his presence known in the bot lane.
And if you think it doesn't matter whether he gets the blue buff, it actually does, because that's experience to the junglers there. The buff was going to go over no matter what. Brandini?
Pops the Dominus. Looks like Bayunsin is not the only one who's having trouble against the Croc up here for Brandini. Another wave crashing in. Slice and Dice is up in a couple of seconds, and Brandini is just trying to wait. Oh! Almost gets chunked by Omni. Forced to flash, but gets the kill. And the Call of the Meek will heal him up.
Perfectly played their bot side. Winston's down here.
WILDCARD sniffs something out. Dasher with the 2-man tot. Nightstar is exhausted. Almost get the kills onto Arrow, but the damage is not enough. Nightstar goes down and get caught in that bushwhack.
Really good baiting from Arrow too. He was kind of low on health. Yuli, though, I feel like this is what happens is like a kill happens, a play happens coming through from Winston trying to find kills, and then we flash over. Where's Yuli? Doing an objective, getting a dragon. Now he's getting a herald as well. He's trying to make up for the rest of the team.
Yeah, exactly. So he has 2 objectives, but Winston has 4 kills. So it's a bit of a trade that they have to take. Already a completed Gore Drinker on both Brandini and Winston shows the top lane domination that has been going on so far for WILDCARD Red. They're proving they can play through any lane. I mean, Brandini has LCS Academy experience as well. It's not just Arrow.
I'm trying to think, like, so Winston has Academy experience, right? So it's just Bradley and Daption.
Bradley and Daption, are the noobs, so to speak. Up on the top side, though, Brandini might get tested a bit in the 2v1. Gore Drinker Pop gonna slice and dice away. Daption and Winston have joined the party. The Crescent Guard will knock away the Croc, but not for long. Daption goes down. It will be a trade, though, as Yuli falls and make it a second. Another kill goes over to Brandini as Bayunsin dies again.
Arrow with the Moonlight Vigil, and he's on his own under a turret.
Flashes away from the bomb, but he will fall in the 1v2. Dinosaur ticking low with that final tower shot. Not enough to do it. And Conviction will pick up a tower in the bot lane as well. So for Conviction, it's been try to, get Nightstar a bit ahead, but no, Omni. A bit of trouble. The Ignite's going to tick him down, and Omni will die for the 3rd time this game. 5,000 gold lead now in favor of WILDCARD Red.
I want to also point out the fact that Conviction got the turret, but it was after WILDCARD got it. Nightstar!
Oh, running in a bad spot. Will get taunted up by the shield of Duran. Bradley takes a good amount of damage from the bomb, but there's 2 members of WILDCARD there to take down the Ziggs. Yuli now has to just run away. Has to maybe... he's gonna land the knockup on the Daption. Dinosaur's here as well with that Glacial Fissure. Teleport coming in from one of the players as well. It will be Omni. Brandini and the rest of WILDCARD are still stuck into the Conviction jungle, but it doesn't look like they're going to try and contest. It's just going to be WILDCARD getting out with the kills that they had, going for some resets.
Meanwhile, Arrow's still farming. This is just the way WILDCARD play. They're 4v5ing on the map right now. They're just leaving Arrow to continuously farm this bot side. He's not going to get involved in any of the action, and WILDCARD's just going to keep forcing things everywhere else. This force into the mid lane is a little bit dicey. Daption is starting to come up here.
Oh, that is the Rift Herald being proc, but the wave's already gone. Will it even get a charge? Oh, it doesn't! That's the burst potential on that Rift Herald, and that's a lot of gold that Conviction wish they had that's just gonna melt away into the sink.
And let's remember that Herald was traded for 2 kills in the bot lane. Winston managed to get quite a bit down there. So if you don't even get the plating gold, then Herald literally did nothing, and that was just 2 for nothing in the bot lane earlier.
It always feels bad when you don't get anything off of a Rift Herald there, but for Yuli and the rest of Conviction, they gotta you know, try to make something happen now. They have to rely on Nightstar at this point. The only player who's up in CS and has a couple of kills as well. So I think that's probably the win condition here for Conviction. Work towards getting some of these towers here. We see Nightstar and Dinosaur already here in this mid lane, trying to punish Arrow a little bit. Daption is here as well, going to throw out the Winds of War, and Winston has also arrived mid. The control ward will spot him out for now, but right now the Dragon has spawned as well, and Wildcard are probably just going to look to even up the score.
Yeah, Conviction can't really access the pit at this point. They are the weaker team. And you're not looking for team fights. This was never what the comp wanted to necessarily do. You've got a Camille, you've got a Shinzao, you've got a LeBlanc. None of those are big team fighting monsters. Instead, we talked about the Hextech Ultimatum into the, well, not the Hero's Entrance, but into the Mega Inferno Bomb combination here. You find one target, you isolate them, you take them out of the game. I want to see that happen here.
Oh, nice use of the satchel here from Nightstar as well. Daption is still pretty tanky though. Has the bomb, only gonna land the outside, but Nightstar still picks it up with the Leandries. Now it's Arrow trying to land in those chakrams in a 1v3. Red and white means don't fight, which means Conviction are gonna back off.
Okay, but Yuli gets caught in the jungle. Too far out here. The team can't reinforce.
Oh. Portal jump forward from Bradley as well. Yuli barely gets away with the crescent guard, but Brandini, he's gonna die. Bayunson picks it up. Will be a trade in return, but the Ragnarok has been popped on the side of Winston. Yuli gonna get hit up by the bubble, doing as much damage as he can before falling. Winston barely stays alive with a double triumph, a double kill already for Bradley. Might make it a third. There it goes. And now it's Nightstar stuck in the middle of the team. A quadra kill for Bradley, and Wildcard Red pick up the ace.
Like you said, Grapes, this team can carry from any lane. Brandini carrying early, Winston making the moves early, and now mid-game, it's all up to Bradley here. Quadra kill, and Winston just baiting away in the pit as well. Really making Nightstar want to pick that up, cost him his life, and Wildcard Gaming, we're staring at a 7,000 goal lead at 15 minutes. It's not the biggest lead we've seen, but it's the sort of lead which leads to FFs.
And the biggest thing is one of the main carries throughout this tournament for Wildcard Red is Arrow, and he's having a decent game. He has one item, but not the focal point. Now Nightstar, the focal point here is up top lane. I mean, Brandini on this Renekton, getting another kill. Bradley will pick up the bot lane turret as well, and now Bayunson is going to try to look for a play onto the Zoe. The teleport is coming in from Brandini as well, making his way all the way across the map, impacting all over Summoner's Rift. Bubble will miss onto Yuli, and this means Wildcard Red will get out with their lives.
That's a 2v4.
It's just too scary. They can't do it.
Normally when you've got that big a numbers advantage, you see the TP coming, you just sit on the ward. You just sit on the TP. As soon as they show up, you pop them. But this isn't just any TP. This is Brandini. The man is level 11. He's got a 2-level lead on everybody on the side of Conviction here. He's 5-2 and 7, sitting on a bunch of gold with the Mythic completed already and Dominus ready to pop. They just don't feel comfortable going for it whatsoever. And all that attention bought means that Wildcard get a free Herald because nobody can walk to the top side in time.
3,000 gold lead for Winston here on this Olaf. About 2.5k on both Bradley and Brandini as well. Arrow is just about even, but you're going to take even considering all the attention that's been put topside so far for Wildcard Red. Only in a bit of a bad position. The bubble will do a good amount of zoning with the distortion out. Will be okay. Rift Herald picked up for Arrow. They're going to try to funnel some gold into him now. It's his time to carry.
Well, you know what? I think give Arrow another 10 minutes right now. They don't really need him, Brandini. And the bot side is getting collapsed on.
Oh, yep. 3 members of Conviction have joined the party. Dominus already popped. The Glacial Fissure just misses. Crocodile is just too tanky, RMC. Brandini gets out with his life.
And meanwhile, Herald was dropped into the mid lane there. They claim yet another turret. And because you sent 3 from Brandini, it feels like this is always the case. Did you kill Brandini? No. What did you lose? This time, it's mid lane inner turret and the inhibitor kind of low. They might actually lose this topside inner turret as well if they all decide to push on this.
It's just so hard for Conviction to do anything. There's so much threat all over the map for Wildcard. If they make one mistake, they lose about half their base, it seems like. And already, the inhibitor tower in mid is very low.
Oh, what?
Oh.
Look at that.
Oh, Zoe, guys. Oh my god. Remember when this champion was not balanced? Like, Oh my gosh. Bradley with another kill, his 7th of the game. They pick up that top lane inner turret as well, and now it's a 10,000 gold lead here for Wildcard.
The last time Bradley went back to base, he actually picked up a Magi Soul Stealer. He had a fully stacked Dark Seal already. Now he's on 14 stacks here. 7-0-1. This is frightful for Conviction. There's a whole bunch of bounty. There's a whole bunch of gold, but they can't seem to pick it up. Can they find at least Winston?
Going for Winston. It's a 2v1, and there he goes. Bomb, not even necessary. Yuli will pick up the shutdown. Will get that red buff that he so desired in that exchange.
500 gold into the pocket of Xin Zhao. And the first time, well, not even actually, it wasn't the Hextech Ultimatum Mega Inferno Bomb combo. It was just locked down into Mega Inferno Bomb. So that won't be available for this dragon right now. And there's no vision.
It is a 4v5, but the 4 players are on Wildcard Red, so always have to take that into account. Will be only the second dragon of the game for either of these teams, but it looks like Conviction want to press their advantage here with the numbers advantage. Nightstar looking just for some poke onto the backside. Oh, Omli gets locked up here by the W from Brandini and gets instantly bursted down. Fear's entrance comes in from Dashin to try and stall out and save Bradley's life. Looks like Bayunsin will die as well. Brandini is just fighting a 1v3 into the pit. Gonna try and stun up Nightstar. That's an insane amount of damage from this Renekton. Is exhausted up, doesn't even care. Yuli's the last one alive, but not for long. They pick up Brandini, but at what cost? They get the ace, and they get this dragon. Wildcard Red is very much in control.
Raid boss down. Congratulations, you killed Renekton. He didn't have a bounty. The only bounty right now is Bradley. And in fact, Brandini gets his bounty after he died. I don't know how that works, don't ask me, but it's pretty disgusting. And for Conviction, it just feels so bad that you can't win these fights. You had a numbers advantage, as you called their Grapes, but if they couldn't kill Brandini and Bradley 2v4, if they couldn't kill Brandini 3v1, what on earth makes you think you can handle a 5v4?
I mean, it seems really difficult for Conviction to do anything. If you can't win that fight with Winston already dead, it's hard to do it's hard to imagine a situation where you do, unless it's literally like you find 3 picks in a row and then fight a 5v2, and even then, not really guaranteed if the right players are alive here for Wildcard. And Conviction is gonna have to try and pull a miracle out of this to get a win here in this best of 3 game 1. If not, always that game 2, always the chance to try and take that crucial map off of Wildcard. But Dinosaur has been caught out again. Rosaran will lock him up, and on the other side, Bradley's getting collapsed on here by Omli and Yuli. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble will zone off the Xin Zhao, but here comes the teleport in from Bayunsin. Might have teleported a little bit too deep. They're still going for Bradley, but they're not able to get him. Bayunsin dies, and Bradley is still alive. The sleep will land. They will keep their mid laner intact in one piece. Yuli will try to do his best to do something, get some sort of return, but there's no way you can do anything against Wildcard Red. 3 more go down.
Bradley went from 14 stacks to 24 stacks. He's almost fully stacked on this Magi's right now, and I just cannot believe they can't kill him. They're throwing everything in the kitchen sink right now, and it doesn't work. Nightstar, are you next in the chopping block?
Oh yeah, I wanted to go for that tower. It might have cost him his life though. The bouncing bombs are gonna do a decent amount of damage. Bradley at about half HP, but has the flash that he stole with the Spell Thief. Baron goes over on the other side. Omli is gonna try and save his 80 carry. Dashing forward onto Bradley, but that's so much damage. Bradley. He goes legendary on to his opponent mid laner. Dinosaur will be the one to secure the kill. It is Nightstar that picks up the 1k gold, but doesn't really matter just yet. Dashin is still on the chase. Nightstar is still very low. Bayunsin is getting chunked out by arrow from almost a mile away. And Wildcard will get out with the Baron despite losing their mid laner.
Baby steps, Graves. Baby steps. That is step 1 for the comeback from Conviction. Like I said, I'm a believer until they get OT. And right now, they did manage to shut down that Magi's, stop the stacking, pick up a massive bounty, and it went over to Nightstar. And they need Nightstar and Omli to get some kills. Omli is 0-7-3 right now. The LeBlanc is not able to burst out any of these priority targets.
Yeah, Nightstar seems to be, once again, the focal point of this Conviction lineup, sitting here with the 4 kills, has 2 shutdowns, and Yuli might get caught out again. He overgreeted for his jungle. Arrow helps Winston pick up that kill, will dodge away from the bomb with a heal, and Winston still is just so tanky. Only dashes forward and loses 60% of his HP, it seems. Dinosaur with a stand behind me will try to dash away, but Winston going forward, no ultimate, but doesn't matter. He still has the healing, still has the Gore Trigger, still has the Hysterics, will still chase forward. Teleport on the other side, though. Looks like it's just Bradley rejoining with the Spell Thief. Gonna try and do some damage to the Conviction base. Takes down by Yunson to below 10 HP. 10% HP, sorry. The Ignite will take him to about 10. And the Inhibitor finally cracked. Wildcard have found the base of Conviction.
That was just brute forcing coming through from Wildcard there. No finesse, no minions, just walking that in here. And look at that.
Oh my gosh. Oh no, Dinosaur. He's alive still. The Unbreakable will save him. There's a Glacial Fissure as well. They actually do take down Winston. Brandini's onto the backside. Bayusi gets a big chunk with a Precision Protocol. And Dinosaur will pick up a kill. Hop in the jungle. 4 Wildcard are dead, but they lose Yuli in the process, and Nightstar just evaporates into thin air. Only and Bayusi are going to have to do the work. It's a 3v3, but the Nexus turrets are under fire. Arrow has the damage, has the blue guns. Leaf will land onto Dinosaur. The adaption is low, but so is Bayusin. He will die yet again. 33 kills, 4 Wildcard red. They're going to try to make it a 34. Arrow flashes forward for the kill. The Nexus has been exposed. Omli's the only one left alive, and he is not even going to get close to the Nexus. Wildcard red. It took a while, took a lot of kills, but it was convincing nonetheless. 24 minutes in, they're going to take game 1 of the finals.
I don't know how I feel about this right now, Grapes. The 24 minutes to finish game 1 here. It felt like it took more time to get into the game than to actually end the game.
It seemed like, honestly, Conviction's goal was like, okay, at this point, we just got to kill like everybody once, and they did that. And it just, I guess that's why it took them a little bit longer than it might have in some of the other games. But Conviction, it just wasn't enough for them. Wildcard is just still proving to be a very dominant team. They drafted a pretty safe team composition. They played towards their top side. Brandini got a massive lead over by Yunson early, and it just snowballed from there.
Yeah, and you know, props and respect to Conviction there. They did not forfeit. They were fighting right till the last second there. And like I said, baby steps, right? Even if you're very, very far behind, you can still try to find kills, try and make it tough for Wildcard to close it out. Did it matter in the long run? Maybe not. I mean, it still was a closeout, pre-30-minute closeout, but it shows signs of life. And it shows that they have the mechanics, they have the skills to still find picks. A lot of it just went south in the top lane, right? You picked the volatile lane, Renekton, Camille. And unfortunately for you, Brandini started winning the 1v1 right away. They sent attention earlier for the side of Wildcard Gaming. And what I want to see going into next game for Conviction is, if you're going to pick a volatile lane like that, send the attention early. Get that volatile lane swinging in your favor first, and then maybe you have a lane you can actually play through instead of just getting camped and just wiped out early.
It's going to be back to the drawing board for sure for Conviction Summer. A lot to look at in that game and a lot to look forward to in game 2. We're going to take a short break. Be right back for game 2 of the finals. Let's see if Wildcard can close this one out. Welcome back, everybody. We're here for game 2 of the NorQuest Esports Series Grand Finals. RMC, it's been a long day, and this could be the final game here for Wildcard Red to clinch their undefeated, unprecedented victory here in this tournament. But for Conviction, I know you're still a believer, so we're gonna hold on for a game 3.
Yep, like I said, until they get OT'd, right up to that moment, I'm going to keep on believing in them here. And for both of these teams, it's not just about the money. There is quite a bit of pride on this as well. I mean, Conviction, the fact that they're already here, like we said, has surprised quite a few people. And is going to be a huge boost to their confidence for their morale going to the Tier 1 tournaments. For Wildcard here, you don't win Triple Crown in the amateur scene and then decide to just flub a tournament. So they're looking to continue being utterly dominant. They want to win this tournament without dropping a single game. And to be fair to them, while my heart is screaming out Conviction, my head's telling me that Wildcard have a pretty decent shot at winning this 2-0 and winning the entire tournament without dropping a game.
And it will be the same sides for both Conviction and Wildcard going into this game 2. So once again, Conviction will be on the blue side, Wildcard on the red side, and RMC just going over what kind of adaptations that Conviction might have to go through in the draft. As you said before we headed off into our break, have to focus around either putting more resources up towards the top side, or making it more of a less volatile experience there for Bayunsin.
Yeah. If you're gonna pick a close lane, a volatile lane, one that can tip either way, then that's the lane you need to gank early. I mean, we're looking at the early jungle pathing, right? And Yuli actually skipped Krugs. He should have been there at the top lane a little bit sooner. And you just need to communicate a little bit better. Bayunsin needs to kind of go, okay, I've got my jungler on the way. Let's not engage right now. Let's just wait one more wave. 30 seconds, my jungler will be here. I'll get some support. Get that teamwork rolling a little bit more. Or like you said, just don't pick a volatile lane. You can afford to have some weak lanes, some strong lanes, and then you know exactly where you need to play for, right? Whether you need to reinforce that weak lane ever so slightly to make sure that they don't get dove, or whether you play to your strong side, get the ball rolling. Even though they were losing, Nightstar still did a lot of damage, had the most kills on his team. That is a player that you can always choose to play around. Put him on strong side champion and get the ganks rolling down the bot lane.
Yeah, exactly. You either have to focus in on that top side or shift back a little bit and do what you were doing towards that mid game, going and funneling stuff into Nightstar, which they have been doing for this entire tournament, it seems like. So for Conviction, just kind of have to be a little bit more decisive in where they want to play towards in this draft. But before we get into the draft, just want to once again thank some of our sponsors here at NorQuest. Here at Explore Edmonton, there's 1 million plus of Edmontonians in Alberta's capital, and they're the entrepreneurs, experts, and hosts that can help turn your opportunities into reality. Famous for their festivals, lively arts and music scene, and sprawling, picturesque River Valley, they offer much more than just places for your delegates to eat, sleep, or entertain. So if you want to learn more, go to exploreedmonton.com. And RMC, we are headed into the draft here for Game 2. I'm hoping for some spicy pickups here. It seems like Wildcard kind of have the formula down, but maybe they want to mix things up, make things a little bit more interesting.
I hope so. And for that matter, I'm hoping Conviction mix things up, right? Like when we're talking the semifinals about Wildcard versus Supernova, we're saying that we want to see Supernova bring in the cheese, switch things up, change things up. And that's because Supernova has a reputation for interesting drafts. But for Conviction, why not try the same thing, right? Like your backs are up against the wall. You lose this, you're done. You're out. It's a best of 3 and you're already down 1 game here. So I want to see Conviction maybe switch things up here, pick some spicy things, always keeping in mind though that you need to win the early game. Never assume that you can get to the late game with Wildcard.
Yeah, that's definitely something that Supernova tried to do, and you can't get to the early game. You can't get to the late game if you die. What was it, like almost once a minute, it seemed like at that point. So Wildcard are gonna have to just do what they do best, do what they normally do. But for Conviction, again, I do agree with you, some early aggression. There was hints of that in Game 1, trying to go for some of those early ganks topside. We saw Bayunsin go super aggressive onto Brandini early on, ended up actually trading the kills back with that Camille with the Ignite. But then the 2v2s started to come in. Yuli was not able to path up there in time and ended up punishing that Camille heavily. And so I think there are definitely signs of life in terms of aggressiveness and early plays that can come out from Conviction. The only question is, can they be executed to the correct degree? Yeah,
and a lot of that just comes from knowing when you should be playing aggressive and when you shouldn't be playing aggressively, right? Conviction kind of felt like they weren't aware of where or when Winston might show up, when they should be pushing out, when they need to play strong and or weak side. It felt like they're just trying to play a strong side all around, and it doesn't work. Even if you're not behind, it's still a very, very risky proposition because you don't know when that jungler is going to tip in here, change things up. We're into picks and bans. Bans coming out, and we already see one change for Conviction here. Kalista being left open and Galio being taken off right off the bat.
Yeah, and it's interesting because now it leaves Arrow with the decision. Do you want to go for that Kalista that was already banned in Game 1, or maybe shift over or stay with that Aphelios that worked really well in that first game? I mean, oh no, not this again. RMC, it's happening. We're getting cursed once more.
Please not like this. And you know what's even more disgusting right now, Grapes? Apparently the issue's still the same. Yunson doesn't have the right champion on this account.
Oh my goodness! I mean, it's hard. I mean, there are a lot of champions in League of Legends, and so picking all of them. Definitely can be an issue sometimes. We hope to get that issue sorted out as soon as possible. But before we do that, once again, let's thank some of our sponsors here while we've got the time. RMC NorQuest College is a proud sponsor of this tournament and this educational institution of more than 19,000 in Edmonton, and they support people all over the world. And if you want some more information about NorQuest and their exciting programs, check out www.norquest.ca. Also want to thank Alberta Innovates, ESIO, ATB, Pepsi with their new Pepsi Zero Sugar, great taste without any of the calories, Memory Express, Canada's premier destination for computer products since 1996, now with 14 stores all across the country of Canada. You can contact them in store, online, check them out at memoryexpress.com. Did all of our paperwork, RMC. We're just waiting here for the Game 2 draft to begin now.
Now, if only Conviction could be as reliable as NorQuest, if only we could get Conviction 0 with all the great game, none of these draft issues. Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, man. I mean, the ads are very enticing. I mean, there's a lot of great things that NorQuest is getting backed by here, and they're a very large reason behind this tournament even existing. So once again, big shout out to every single one of our sponsors here today. And that prize pool, once again, RMC definitely is something that a lot of these teams are definitely going to be fighting for in this finals.
Yeah, I mean, the prize pool is, we talked a bit about the pride for these teams, but there's also prize money, and it's good. I mean, this is NorQuest Esports Series' biggest prize pool yet. It's 7,500 split over 2 tournaments, 2 divisions here, contenders and champions. And for these guys, winner takes home $2,500. Second place still has prize money, half of that, $1,250 as well for second place. But if you can have more, who would settle for less?
Exactly, and both of these teams trying to take home the bag here. Wildcard in a much better position with that dominant Game 1 victory. It is looking more and more likely like that this team is going to go throughout the whole weekend without even being ever dropping a game. I was going to say without ever being in a losing position, but there was that game against Wildcard Black that came just down to the wire, that Bradley backdoor that unfortunately we weren't able to catch on stream.
Yeah, and you know what? It's still close. Bradley was on that LeBlanc, and we did get to see Omli on the LeBlanc last time here. Maybe Omli gets a chance to backdoor here. Honestly, I don't know how realistic that is, but anything. Conviction just need to find one lane to play through and then just kind of throw all their chips in there. And why not Omli? Omli had a bit of a rough game, but if you kind of take away the fact that the top was super fed and the jungle was super fed, the LeBlanc didn't do too badly.
Yeah, not bad at all. I mean, other than the 8 deaths that eventually got tacked on for only, but it's interesting because playing that aggressive assassin pick into a champion, a player even like Bradley can always be a really scary thing. On the Zoe, obviously 2 champions that do a lot of burst damage, like to jump in and out of the fights, and it becomes pretty easy to snowball, say, sort of a lane like that. And with Winston and Brandini already doing so well early on in that Game 1, Bradley basically got free reign to roam around, get a couple of assists, and eventually take a stranglehold of that game.
Okay, and we're back into draft here, Graves, after all that time. And if I recall correctly, we got into pretty much the top laners before everything fell apart because Conviction didn't have a top laner.
Oh, look, he's back on his old account.
Hey, it's Bayunsin on Bayunsin. Okay, fair enough here. So we know the bans were the same as last time. So it is going to be the Varus, the Tom Kenshin, the Galio coming through for Conviction, and it's going to be the Kog'Maw, Viego, Lulu once again for Wildcard here. And Wildcard not switching anything up because they don't need to. They won Game 1.
Yeah, as you said before, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, RMC. And so wouldn't be surprised to see a very similar draft come through for Wildcard because of like just the amount of success that they've had. Bayunsin's going to walk in the Ornn, 6,300 champion, so it makes sense that, might not be able to pick that up. It's a lot of blue essence that he had to have on that other account. Aatrox going to be the answer here by Brandini, though. We've seen a decent amount of Aatrox so far, and really excited to see some more of this Darkin Assassin.
And it just reminds me of the Supernova games where we saw some cheese coming out, with trying to set up that Camille Aatrox, a no AD carry composition coming through from Supernova. I don't think we're going to see that from Wildcard because Arrow is, after all, a premier AD carry player. He's not really likely to switch things up too much here. But the draft at least has changed. And we said for Conviction, don't pick a dangerous, risky lane if you're not going to play to it. Ornn is 100% weak side. That is not a lane that should go 50-50 here. And the mid lane might be a little bit on a razor's edge. So now with that Lucian LeBlanc matchup, I want to see Conviction focus the mid lane.
Yeah, LeBlanc and Lucian only once again on this champion that he did so well on against Area of Effect, against Darkwings, another very strong mid laner here in the semi-pro scene. Oh my goodness, RMC. That's the dream that we're talking about, going over to Arrow.
Yes, now Nautilus Leona. It has to be Nautilus Leona. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. That's exciting.
That is the kill lane I wanted to see. Now, it's actually a little bit difficult into the Ziggs because Ziggs has so much range here. Early on, you do get to punish, but I actually don't think we're going to see the Ziggs die that much here, at least not till level 6. Instead, I'm looking at the set for Dinosaur because you pick the set to counter the Leona. Leona goes in, you can just kind of face break them, haymaker them, drag them in, and then just pummel them. But with the Draven to back them up, Ziggs set should not ever win that 2v2 unless a whole bunch of poke was put down beforehand. If they're both full health, Draven Leona will run over this set. Ziggs, they can just ignore.
Yeah, the all-in potential there, once again, for Wildcard is the reason that this bot lane matchup was picked. Gonna try to go for some really aggressive plays here onto Nightstar and Dinosaur down in the bot lane. And we'll see. I mean, in that game one, focused a lot about topside. Arrow was kind of left in the dust a bit, but
yeah,
it seems like with the composition that they've drawn out for themselves, it's going to be hard to not gank this Draven here.
For sure. And Wildcard, no one has ever accused them of not playing to their strong side. They know exactly how they want to play here. And if Arrow and Daption can pop off by themselves, then we won't be seeing ganks into that bot lane because they know how to snowball their own lead without assistance here. And then that will free up Winston to look for that mid lane, look for that top lane. And I love what Wildcard have done. They've drafted all winning lanes here. They're not looking for a late game. They don't care that you have Ornn, that you have Ziggs, that those will scale. They're just going to run you over in the early game, absolutely crush you, and then there won't be a mid to late game.
Yeah, we talked about some of the win conditions of potentially taking down a wildcard team like this. One of them was, to win in the early game and snowball the lead until it was almost insurmountable. And with the composition that Wildcard and Conviction have set themselves up with, doesn't seem all that likely. It seems like the Wildcard red side has a lot of winning lanes. They have that Ornn matchup up top. They have that LeBlanc on Bradley that he's so good on. And of course, their signature Draven pickup here for Arrow. So Conviction, as much as it might be difficult for them to do so, probably had to turn their eyes towards that later game when they have the ornaments coming on. They have this Ziggs to potentially look for some turret plays and maybe some more of that Wombo with the set.
Yeah, and because they didn't draft for the early game here, what they now need to do for the side of Conviction is play around the weak lanes, knowing when they can play aggressively, when they can push up, and when they need to back away from turrets. Because we've seen that Wildcard will not hesitate to pull the trigger. Olaf can dive a turret. Aatrox can dive a turret. LeBlanc as well, if you're low enough, can dive you. So Conviction needs to play with a little bit of restraint and with a lot of focus into the only winning lane that they might have here, the mid lane. Lucian into LeBlanc is kind of iffy. If Lucian plays the lane right, he should win the early game. But as the game goes on, LeBlanc's kill potential, I mean, she's an assassin. He's an AD carry. The champion LeBlanc is literally designed to pop champions like the Lucian here. So Omni needs to get that lead rolling in the early game. If you're waiting for the late game for Lucian to pop off, he's going to be a non-entity. You're relying on this Ziggs, you're relying on this Ornn, and if Omni isn't ahead, then it does mean that Wildcard probably got their side lanes ahead already.
Okay, never mind. I think we're good on Summoner's Rift here. It's about to get underway. Game 2 between Conviction Summer and Wildcard Red is about to hit the Rift here. And once again, we'd like to just thank not only our sponsors, but everybody here that is stuck with us here through this long day of League of Legends. Me and RMC are grateful to have you guys watching these games alongside us. And these have been some really great teams and some really exciting games that we've gotten to watch. And can't wait to see how this series manages to close out. 1-0 in favor of Wildcard Red, but Conviction are going to try and make this go the distance.
Yep, and like I keep saying, I certainly hope it does here, Grapes. I really, really do. But my faith is starting to get a little shaken here.
No. You're still full faith. You still believe. Remember, it's until the 2-0 hasn't happened yet, so you're still the believer, right?
True. It's there. It's just shaking a little bit, and I 5 minutes. I'm giving Conviction 5 minutes to impress me here.
This is an ultimatum.
Pretty much. If anybody dies in the if they lose first blood, or sorry, if they're not even or have a lead after 5 minutes, I'm done. If Arrow gets 2 kills in the bot lane before 5 minutes, my faith is gone.
Oh man, I mean that's a lot to ask for, considering how strong Wildcard have looked even in the early portions of these games. Doesn't matter, as we said, they're playing top, they're playing mid, they're playing bot. Even if they're playing towards Winston in the jungle, we've had him with some incredible games as well throughout this tournament. And so for Wildcard, just got to stick to the same plan. I mean, we say it again and again, but there's not much else to say about this team. They're just completely dominant across the Rift.
And that's just been the story, not just in this tournament, but in pretty much every tournament we've seen Wildcard ridden. It's a star-studded lineup, right? Like Brandini, LCS experience, Winston, Academy experience, Bradley, one of the most gifted mechanical players we've seen in recent time. I have very little doubt he'll eventually get picked up by an Academy or LCS team. We talked about Arrow, I mean, former LCS MVP, former LCK player. Dabshin, maybe not as decorated as some of the others, but the only holdover from the old Wildcard squad. And that means a lot, right? Like, when your team is this good, when they picked up this many good players, that they opted to keep Dabshin shows that Wildcard thinks Dabshin's got the potential to hang out with these guys. And at least so far, that's been true. The engages from Dabshin have been on point. Last game, abandoned Arrow, but managed to get so many ganks off everywhere else on the map.
Yeah, exactly. Dabshin has been a great player so far here for Wildcard Red. Every member of this team has been crucial, whether it was Brandini up the top side or Dokla. It doesn't really matter. It's just they all kind of do whatever they need to do to help the team win. And winning, they've been doing a whole lot of that. I mean, RMC, they've just been very, very dominant in all of their games. And on the other side, it's a tough task for Conviction, especially even for the mentals, going up against a team that you know is really strong on paper, probably stronger than you. They're going to have to just try and piece together some sort of miracle almost to try to take a game.
Oh my goodness, Graves. I think we cast a cursor again. We loaded into game and instantly got a pause here. Yet another technical issue. So while we're waiting that pause out, shouldn't be too long. I mean, we're actually in client now. Let's go once again. We've seen the drops this time, Grapes, but where do you think First Blood is coming down?
Okay, this might be a little easier, but I mean, it's still so hard all the time, RMC. Taking a look at the drafts once again, I mean, it's so hard not to say Arrow's Draven, right? It's just so difficult. I just you have to say
yes.
it. Arrow
the
Draven.
dark
That's
side.
my final, locking it in. Final answer. Arrow on the Draven.
Okay, you know what? I agree with you. Like, it's a Draven. How can it not be there? But just for a different answer, I'm gonna call it on Bradley in the mid lane on this LeBlanc. I think he'll get a sneaky kill onto Omli here.
Well, we'll see whose prediction is correct as we load onto the Summoner's Rift for the finals of the NorQuest Esports series.
Hey.
Conviction on the blue side. Wildcard Red once again on that red side. Wildcard up 1-0 in the best of 3. Looking for that sweep. I see a little bit of a deer on the cliff. Hello, deer. Another safari adventure.
Wait, what? Just as you say that, it's just like, what happened? Roller coaster. We're in the mid lane watching Bradley face off against Omni, and
we zoomed over a little bit. It's okay. We're good.
Sad. I didn't quite catch the deer, unfortunately. I probably should have this full screen instead of squinting here at a minor screen. But it is game 2. Convictions back up against the wall. 1-0 so far for Wildcard. And it doesn't look like we're going to get too much action. Maybe Brandini?
Oh, on the top side. Yuli going aggressive onto Brandini. The audacious charge will chunk down the Aatrox to about 60% HP. With that health potion already practiced, about a 50 gold advantage that Conviction have set up for themselves. But once again, Arrow and Daption making their way down towards this bot lane, putting it down the same ward that they did in game 1.
Yeah, and why not, right? It's a similar situation where unfortunately your Zig set doesn't get the right to contest this Leona Draven. You don't even get to walk up against them here. And I'm actually a little bit surprised that Arrow and Daption didn't... oh, they did set up the Death Bush. Okay.
It's a long sword start for Arrow as well. So going to be packing in the punches early on here. As we start off this game, it will be blue side starts for both of the junglers. Both Yuli and Winston will be on opposite sides of the map once the crabs end up spawning, unless something incredibly crazy happens. Now, taking a look at the bot side here, Arrow and Daption just playing aggressive. They know that they have the higher presence in the 2v2. The wave will just get evened out for now, and you just gotta wait for those crucial 3 last minions to go for that level 2, or Arrow will just go in here with the Hail of Blades. Zenith Blade forward from Daption as well. Dinosaur is already taken below 200 HP, and right off the bat, Wildcard Red start off on the right foot, and they might actually look for more. They're getting presence into this bot lane wave and making their presence known.
Don't understand why they're stepping up here.
Oh, Dinosaur goes in, and my prediction was correct. It's Arrow with the first blood to start off game 2 of this best of 3.
Great call, Grapes, and questionable call, Dinosaur. As the set, we talked about the fact that you don't get to step up like that into the Draven. You don't win those trades, and you saw how quickly Arrow just started double axing. The insta cleanse was beautiful as well to continue pumping out the damage, and then suddenly this bot lane, it's not a safe lane for you. It's a bit of a lost cause. I'm not sure what happened to Brandini and why he had to TP back into lane, but he did. And that is a summoner advantage right now for Bayunsin topside.
We've seen summoner advantages for the wildcard members against the wildcard members before, and sometimes work out, but a lot of the time they don't. And now Daption once again on one of his signature roams up to the mid lane, only trying to get this wave in to go for maybe some sort of reset of his own, but instead it will just be the crab pickup here for Winston. Very, very smart from the wildcard jungler here. Knows that Yuli started on the top side because of that ward that Arrow placed, and they're going to secure the double crab with Brandini joining as well.
Yeah, they just want to deny this away. Daption's just walking up through the mid lane here. They're coming in force, but Dinosaur is coming up as well right now. Just a little bit behind. Really?
Oh, man. They're going for this. They're going to fight to the death over this crab. Bayunsin already trapped in a 1v3. Searing Charge will get canceled, and Daption will pick it up. Bradley going to die on the other side from Nightstar, though. It's a 1-for-1 for now. The crab is still alive. So is Yuli, and so is Winston. We'll see if Conviction want to continue to contest this, and it looks like they might want to. Another teleport coming in from Bayunsin. A big commitment for this objective. The crab already goes over, and more kills as well for Wildcard. It's just going to be Dinosaur locked up Haymaker to buy some time. Doesn't have the flash, doesn't have a life. Brandini picks up his first kill of the game, and the blast coming out from Bayunsin will not mean enough because the flash forward with the undertow from Winston will just continue to help him push into the Ornn. Once again, Bella's Breath to prevent Winston from going under the tower, but it's still a big advantage going over to Wildcard Red.
Okay, we've seen this song and dance before. Arrow overextending a little bit topside.
We've seen this song and dance before too. Bayunsin trapped between his 2 turrets, only coming in with the teleport, but back into the bottom lane. Yuli is trying to do some damage onto Arrow. Can they get the return kill? They are not able to do so. Arrow falls, and they actually get another kill onto Winston as well. And so Conviction are going even right now, 3 for 3, trying to make it a 4th. Brandini stalling out some time with the Q1. Omli as well here to try and crash this wave into the turret.
This was how last game started as well, Grapes, where Conviction fired back, went toe-to-toe, did not give it up. Brandini, that's a huge wave right here. They dive this easy.
Flash away from the knockup. Brandini takes level 4, gets some crucial HP, but it's not enough. The QW combo from Bayunsin will mean that the Aatrox will fall.
Bradley's coming.
Pretty big wave. Bradley and Daption are here as well. Daption is everywhere about bot lane this game, it seems like. Bradley has to know that they're in this push with distortion forward. Question is it enough damage? Did they pick the right clone? The answer is no. Bradley picks up one onto Bayunsin. Daption is going to finish the job onto Omli himself, it seems like. Bradley is just going to come in here and finish it off. Good guy Daption to get from the double kill.
Really good donation. Now bot side, but all the action's happening here. Last game it felt like action yank, and meanwhile we would see Yuli try and make something happen on the other side, but this time Winston doesn't even give them the opportunity to. It was Bradley, it was Daption roaming up, and with Arrow on this Draven right now, they still have all the prio they need to secure themselves first Drake. So after 6 minutes here, I said my faith will be shaken if Arrow gets 2 kills. That hasn't happened. I said if Conviction is in a severe deficit, I'll lose faith. 800 gold is acceptable. I still believe Conviction can turn this around.
Happy to hear that your faith is still intact, RMC. We'll see how much longer it lasts, because for Wildcard Red, any advantage is a big advantage for them, just considering the strength that this team has shown throughout this tournament. And Yuli gonna try to go aggressive here onto Brandini as well, gonna dash forward. Hey, lands the win, becomes lightning knockup, not yet there. Brandini getting a good chunk of damage though, already procs the Conqueror, and Yuli has to be careful. Bradley and Winston are here as well. The Mimic is available for Bradley, gonna hit that chain, might try to go for another one, only is trapped between 3 members of Wildcard, and he will go down. Third kill of the game goes over to Bradley, and now Yuli is on the run, but down to the bot side, Nightstar and Dinosaur are going aggressive onto Arrow and Dapshin. Dapshin still at about half HP, the Eclipse did a good amount to try and survive, and looks like Arrow is happy with just returning to his precious farm.
This, despite the kill score being fairly similar to game 1 here, very little else is. This bot lane is the focus of a lot of attention. We're seeing a lot of action kick in. And topside, Brandini is not dominating this. Bayunsin is constantly threatening. Winston has to come up here to help.
Here's a call to Forge God. Ignite is available from the spellbook. Can Bayunsin get a return? He does onto Winston. The minion wave was too much. It's Houdini. Brandini even going to get a kill in return. He does not. Bradley gets a solo onto only on the backside of that. But wow, this is much different. Bayunsin getting some kills up top.
The camera can't keep up with all the action here, Graves. It feels like both these teams just keep pulling the trigger over and over again right now. Now, Bayunsin did get the kill up top in a 1v2 situation, and after that, he's still in a position where he can push onto Brandini, can still punish. This mid lane has a 2-level deficit right now. Bradley just dominates this lane and only desperately needs help, but Yuli can't look mid till he gets at least another level. If not, that's a level 5 and a level 6 player running to a level 8 LeBlanc.
That's not, the math does not work out for Conviction in that regard, I think. Yeah, Bradley is just dominating right now in this game, and only has actually less farm than Yuli right now. So this kind of shows the amount of pressure that Bradley's been able to put here into this mid lane. Heading into the 8.5 minute mark, only a 1.7k gold lead here for Wildcard Red. But if we toggle the gold right now, it'll be interesting to see that Bradley actually has about 1.3 of the 1.7. So outside of that, the rest of the team is not as far ahead as you might anticipate.
And having this LeBlanc be this far ahead in the game right now, and keep note as well that Bradley bought the Medjais this early into the game. Last game, Medjais came in like 16 minutes. We're not even at 10 minutes yet. He's already got 9 stacks. Bradley knows. Yeah, Bradley knows that he's going to be able to pop off here. And it's true. For the side of Conviction, they can't play anywhere near the mid lane. I don't see how they're going to access any of the neutral objectives as long as Bradley is alive.
Well, looks like Conviction is making their way towards the top side, but so is Wildcard. Winston's going to take down this Rift Scuttler pretty much by himself. The rest of the team is here to just provide some support, and 5 members strong are here from Wildcard Red. They're going to try to make a play for this first Rift Herald of the game.
Wildcard, they're not messing around. They drafted an early game composition, and one of the best ways to accelerate the early game is to get Herald. It's worth more than the Dragon, which, by the way, they already picked up. But get this Herald, knock the turret down, and suddenly you're unleashing chaos on the map. It's longer lanes. It favors the LeBlanc. It favors the Draven. If Brandini can find a lead, it'll favor the Aatrox as well.
It is turret plates returned on the other side for Nightstar and Dinosaur for the side of Conviction, but Bradley has arrived here. No showstopper available for the set just yet. Mega Inferno Bomb will get dodged away from by the Distortion, and Bradley actually gets chunked down decently low in the 1v2.
And Bradley doesn't want to die here. You bought the Medjais. If you die here, you lose all your stack. So I think it's a little bit of a overconfidence to send Bradley down here to deal with this 1v2, where you've got the set to pull you in if you ever try and engage, and you've got the Ziggs to poke you out if you don't engage.
Well, now Bradley has some friends to join him here with Winston and Dapshin trying to join the party. The Satchel Charge out from Nightstar is going to try to clear some distance, but Dinosaur is not so lucky. Does have the Showstopper to try and get some distance here, but just going to use the flash out. The Undertow is not enough. The Ignite's taken, but not going to kill. Set gets out with his life, and Wildcard Red just push the bot lane of Conviction away. And meanwhile, in the top side, Ultimate has been used there by Bayunson to just zone out Brandini a bit. He's actually getting a decent amount of priority here in this lane. You know what it is, RMC? I think it's the account change back. I think that's what did it.
Yeah, need to check to make sure it's the same player, right? Game 1, Game 2, day and night. TP coming into the top lane. Multiple TPs.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Oh
This is gonna be exciting. Brandini overextended. Can't go for the TP with 3 members of Conviction there. He will die for the second time this game, but with all the members of Conviction up on the top side, Wildcard's making their way mid. Rift Herald is still available here for Winston. I'll be interested to see if they decide to end up using it. They already have the Ragnarok expended, and Yuli and Dinosaur are still here just trying to have some sort of defense. They're going to try and just stall out, and they do. Conviction pick up the first tower of the game with the Ziggs, and it looks like Conviction is more than happy with that, but they're actually going to look for more. That tower does not yet die. Dinosaur takes a big chunk of damage and chunks out the rest of Wildcard with the Haymaker. Right now, they're still actually going for this defense, but otherwise on the other side, Bradley going for that kill onto Bayunson. Not looking like it's going to be too likely. I mean, why even flash? You're already dead. I mean, there's a chance there's distortion. One more will do it, and that's the final proc. Bradley is now unstoppable.
Faith, Grapes. Faith is why you flash. They have belief until they get O2. While all that was happening, mid lane turret actually did not fall. I was waiting for Nightstar to drop the Mega Inferno Bomb to clear that mid lane wave. It never happened. They didn't need to do it.
Yeah,
Somehow they held. But it's bait. That turret is so low right now that if Wildcard Red ever want to dive it, they dive it, no question. It'll instantly drop pretty much. You just need 2 autos to take it down. So Conviction, what they've really done is stop more gold going Wildcard's way for now. And Wildcard, they've just banked that gold. When they need it, when they want it, that's when they can push it in. I suspect we'll see that probably in about 3 minutes. When Herald comes up, then they'll just kind of threaten mid, take that turret, rotate up, and watch as Conviction can't actually approach because they don't have the proper vision or proper entry points.
Dinosaur, gotta be careful. We'll spot out Daption and Winston that are roaming over there, but yeah, I mean, while Wildcard are still ahead, much better situation that Conviction have set themselves up in versus that first game. They're actually within a fighting range to try and contest this team, and Bradley's and Winston are going to try to make that a bit of a difference here. The bombs from Nightstar are enough, but as you said, RMC, this turret is really low, and Wildcard are closing in on this objective.
There's so many traps being set up here. Brandini's looking for a flank. Yuli's in a bush waiting. TP got called from Bayunson here. And if you call that TP, you need to pull the trigger. They just called it for absolutely no reason. It doesn't pan out. There's no dragon here to fight over. There's no herald. There's no objectives.
Yeah, and that's just another big cooldown off of Bayunson's hands already. So it's just going to make life a little bit harder for Conviction moving forward with that dragon spawning. It will be soul point if Wildcard Red are able to pick it up. So definitely have to be careful about 2 minutes, but you don't want to keep Bayunson in this around this pit for the next 2 minutes. You want him in some of the side lanes ready to impact with the teleport, but now you just won't have it.
Yeah, and there's farming efficiency as well, right? There's minions pushing in. If you don't have someone there to collect that gold, collect that experience, it's lost. You called Bayunson down now. Teleport will not be available in 1 minute and 45 seconds when that dragon spawns. You can't just sit around in the pit for that long here, and they don't know.
He smells a solo kill. Can he get it?
He came out.
He's gonna distortion forward for the wave. Only knows that he has support here from Yuli, so he's okay with playing a bit aggressive, and I think Bradley called the bluff and to just actually go back to his turret and farm the wave on his own.
Did Bradley actually just see Yuli walking up? I feel like
that's what it seemed like, or either that, or he just anticipated it, one or the other.
And now they're trying to sneak Daption into this bot lane as well as they cleared out the wards, but there's another one in the try push. So it's Yuli and Ombli's turn to pretend like they know what's going on.
Oh, there's a charge forward from Yuli. They think that they can fight this 1v2, already forcing the flash out of Bradley. They're calling as well. Arrow has joined the party, but it's going to be a little bit too late for them to try and turn the fight. It's just going to be the rotation here from Arrow. They're going to force it back out of Bradley, who does have to teleport back up. Dragon is spawning in about 40 seconds. Might have to use that summoner spell to get over to the pit.
And once again, I feel like you're blowing these spells a little bit early there. Omni pokes them out, but there's still 30 seconds. That's enough time for Bradley to go back to base and walk over to the Dragon. You don't have to burn that teleport. As for Brandini and Bayunsin, no TPs available. Brandini's still up there. I like that Bayunsin is rotating first here. They should have a very short window of numbers advantage. And a short window might be all they need since they technically have the tools to engage.
Well, Yuli wants to go now. That's the call to Forge God. Oh, beautiful stand aside from Arrow to cancel the opportunity to use that R2. And now Yuli's taking dangerously low. Bradley walks into the Vanguard's edge and will go down. The bomb will take down Just Dash, and Winston's still ticking low. The minions are not enough to take him down. A double kill going over to Bradley. And now only in Nightstar are the only ones alive on the side of Conviction. Wildcard Red are walking over to that Dragon and can potentially pick up that Infernal Soul Point.
Lions, the Ornhorn not connecting just hurts so much there. That was literally what they needed to kick things off. And because they didn't have it, Wildcard just ran over them. You didn't have enough CC. The Solar Flare hit and the Ornhorn did not there. They do get themselves Soul Point. And Bradley is going to potentially get them a turret on this bot side as well. The snowball is starting to kick in. The gold leads are starting to kick in. 3,500 gold for Wildcard.
Well, as we take a look at the gold, a lot of it is into that LeBlanc, going for that K-pop reset right now, sitting at about 2k in front, and once again about 4k. So about half the gold lead is in favor of Bradley. The one spot where Conviction is ahead is that bottom lane. Nightstar getting a decent lead with those 3 kills over Arrow, but with the only 1 kill going over at the beginning of the game for Arrow, would not be surprised to see that gold drastically split if he ever gets that last hit with passive.
Yeah, 348 adoration stacks right now for Arrow here. It's a nice chunk if he can actually claim it, but you can see that Conviction's been very careful about trying to give over kills to this Draven, trying to deny it. And speaking of denying, Wildcard Red just walk at the Herald and Conviction have to back off.
Only's trying. He's gonna try. There's smite available. Oh, Bradley's just gonna hit the eye, so no chance of a steal there for Only. And now actually we'll try to make a play onto Winston. Does have the Eclipse, so we'll be able to have a bit of protection, but doesn't look like he does too much damage against this Olaf, who already has stacked up some armor with the plated steel caps. And now with that Rift Herald, Winston and the rest of Wildcard are headed to the last outer turret of the game for them on the map up top.
Here's the problem for Omri here. You aren't in a state where you can win the 1v1 fast enough. You might win the 1v1, but you're going to be losing out on time. And once the backup from Wildcards arrives, you lose that fight 100%. Now, Wildcard have a bit of the inside track between top and
Bradley. Oh, say goodbye. Bye, Only. Bradley with another beautiful kill. It's perfectly executed. 8-1 and 2 on the LeBlanc.
Oh, my goodness. The Medjai is fully stacked right now, and it shows 100-0. There was an Eclipse shield as well popped during that time. We did see Omni manage to proc that, and it didn't even matter.
Oh, almost got that second proc off, but it was not enough time. And nice satchel coming out from Nightstar, and they actually do manage to take down Winston. So very nice kill coming out from the Conviction bot lane. They managed to at least get something back in that trade, but RMC, they're gonna need a whole lot more, because even though the game was close at the beginning, starting to get a little out of hand.
Yeah, Brandini literally turning the corner and walking into Yuli here, but Yuli's the one who has to be careful.
Yeah, gonna use that Audition Charge over onto the red buff to get away. Soul is spawning in 2 minutes here for Wildcard, so Conviction are gonna have to try and reset, get some items, make their move at this Dragon. And for Wildcard, it's just it's a bit of a tougher, closer game than it's been in the past, but you still have Bradley, you still have Arrow, and a whole lot of tanks up front.
Baron is coming up though, Grapes, and while the Dragon is taking some time for them to stack, they are on track to get it at 22 minutes. An Infernal Soul for a LeBlanc that can already 100-0 pretty much anybody but Bayunsin right now. That is an issue. And Nightstar feels like Conviction's only hope. He's 4-0-1. He's been playing this so mechanically well. His CS is pretty much on par, and that satchel against Winston there. I mean, more of that, please. And maybe Conviction can turn it.
Oh, the Mimic Chain does a lot of damage. Bradley going for the solo kill onto the tank. Exhaust already used by Unison. Call the Force God would not have the additional proc, but teleport in is only Bradley. Oh no, will he die? Picks the wrong clone, but the culling goes out, and the 1,000 gold shutdown is desperately needed and goes over to the Lucian.
1,000 gold as well as 10 stacks of that Magi Soul Stealer. Let's put it this way. Each stack is 5 ability power. It's 50 ability power taken away. That is a hefty chunk of damage removed from this assassin. Is it going to be enough to protect against this dragon? Probably not. Maybe we can find another pick here.
Oh, but the one picked out might just be Yuli stuck in a 3v1. Arrow is doing the damage with the axes. The Whirling Death is available, is going to use it. The second proc will seal the deal. Look at the adoration. 855 into the pockets of Happy B player. And now Dinosaur is going to be in a bit of trouble as well. Winston will be the one to secure it. 2 kills go over to Wildcard Red. Dragon is spawning in 30, but it looks like the mid turret is going to be on the menu.
Minions here should take a turret, at least, kind of, maybe. Oh, there's not enough follow-up here. There's no call to Forge God, or there would be kills here. Bayunsin used it before dying earlier, and it's coming back to bite them.
Well, they do force some resets out from Wildcard. Arrow is sitting at about half HP. No Immortal Shield available yet. Means we'll be a bit vulnerable at this Dragon take, but Dinosaur is still dead. Bayunsin not into the fight just yet. They do have double teleports on Nightstar and himself, but it's going to be Wildcard to start off this Dragon. Remember, this is Infernal Soul point for them. If they're able to pick it up, will be a huge advantage. Oh my goodness, only goes down. Thought that LeBlanc was scary before. Now, it's got the Infernal Soul. Wildcard Red are going to pick it up.
Grapes, I think there's a bug in the game. I think that minion, that caster minion just gave Bradley 300.
Yeah, what is he doing all the way over there?
Yeah, like, minion caster should be roaming out. I'm a rat.
You need to answer for your people.
Oh man, Omni doesn't get to play the game anymore. Basically, Omni has to stay as far away from Bradley as he can. The only thing you can do in the face of Bradley is use the culling. If Bradley's there, you just don't get to participate in the fight. But I feel like if you put him up against Brandini, up against Winston, this Lucian might be able to do a little bit more here. So maybe you send Omni to side lane. Maybe you send him to split push and hope that it's not Bradley running up to him. Give him adequate vision. And then as soon as you don't see Bradley on the map, just get him off.
Yeah, the key part of that is the get him off part. I mean, Bradley is really scary now. 10 kills already, double digits here for the Wildcard mid laner. Dinosaur could be in a bit of trouble here. Gonna land in 2 with the face breaker. Showstopper still available. Gonna use it here and take down Winston off the Ragnarok. But Brandini is here with the World Ender by Winston coming in with the Call of Forge God. They will get a kill on Adaption, but Arrow is still full HP. Going to pick up 1 kill. And look at the damage from the Infernal Soul. Bradley has arrived, and he is here to lay in the pain. Yuli will block out some with that Crescent Guard, but Arrow knows better. He's going to run into the circle, pick up the double kill for himself, and now, once again, the bot lane for Conviction is the only one that's left alive. A triple kill for Arrow. Could it be the Quadra? Brandini wants to give it to him, but Arrow's going to say, no thanks, y'all, you can take it. I've had enough. Ace coming through for Wildcard Red.
Good guy, Arrow, giving over the Quadra there, but welcome, Conviction, to the League of Draven. Arrow is online, 5-1-4 right now, and they're not content with just getting all those kills. They want to take Baron, and they want to close this one out.
It's all but certain at this point that Wildcard Red will secure this Baron, and now they're going to be up about 10,000 gold once again after this objective secured. I mean, Conviction put up a much better fight in the early game, but at the end of the day, Wildcard still have the soul. They still have the Baron. Might have taken a little bit longer than game one. Bradley. Oh my god. Just one W with 70% of the HP and just took a couple of more spells to do the deed. Bradley, once again, with another kill onto Omni.
I just want to point out, there was a ward which saw Bradley coming in, and Omni did not run away.
His death was inevitable at that point, it seemed like. I mean, it looks like the series might be inevitable at this point as well. Yuli in a bit of danger, not going to be able to do too much in that exchange. Looks like Arrow will pick up his 6th kill of the game. We'll try to make it some more here, as looks like Wildcard Red are all but due to put the finishing touches up on this game.
They just kind of need to walk in as a group to get in there, and just one chunk from Draven and one chunk from Bradley would kill anybody except Bayunsin right now. Maybe if the set gets the shield off, but I think they pop him so quickly that he's not going to be able to get that fully stacked shield, and without a full stack shield, oh, look at the damage, you're gonna die.
I mean, Arrow's just able to run into the middle of the team, and it's fine because Bradley can just do that. It's deja vu. Only is just having nightmares of Bradley's LeBlanc. He's gonna have it for the rest of his days, it seems like. And gonna go in again. Bradley gonna try and take down Nightstar. Not enough in a distortion back. Dinosaur has the haymaker, not going to use it just yet. Inhibitor's going to go down in the mid lane. Wildcard Red looking to end this game right here, right now as they push towards the base. 25 stacks once again on that Medjais, and they're going to try to make it more, even though you can. It's fully stacked already. Ragnarok goes forward. The final concussive blows will finish get up the kills. Conviction, the miracle run was great. It was really, really close, but oh my goodness, Bradley is just too insane. Wildcard Red, they'll put an end to the Conviction miracle run. They'll turn the wine back into water, and in just a few short minutes, they're gonna take the championship here of the NorQuest Esports Series.
Bradley's just farming kills at this point. I mean, they're not even pushing. He's just sitting there trying to get picks here, and Nightstar. They find him?
Oh, protect the KDA, protect the KDA, Nightstar. You can do it.
Oh,
he's gonna give it. He's gonna do it. Oh, GA, he has a GA. They're baiting him. Here we go, big fight. Dinosaur under the fountain, gonna get taken down by Arrow, and that is it. The Nexus goes down 2-0 in favor of Wildcard Red. They go undefeated throughout the entire weekend.
Just want to point out there, Grapes, that at the end, Nightstar was kind of baiting with his body a bit, but it was Dinosaur dying right before we transitioned out there. Well, congrats to Wildcard Gaming Red. They won this entire tournament, Grapes, $2,500 without dropping a single game, without even really making it look close. The closest game was against their sister team, Wildcard Gaming Black, and that was off stream. So nobody needs know. Wildcard Gaming Red, they're dominant.
Well, I'm sorry to hear, RMC, that your faith is now no longer in Conviction's favor after the 2-0 has concluded. But I feel like with every passing week, every passing day that we come here in the semi-pro scene, just have to appreciate Wildcard more and more and more. They're just looking so dominant on the Rift. They have a great staff behind them, and they're looking just unstoppable almost as they're heading to Proving Grounds later this month.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to actually seeing Conviction play as well, because they looked pretty good, actually. I mean, sure, 29-11 and that little bit of dying at the end doesn't look great, but if you look at how it got to that point, individually, they had a lot to show. And Nightstar, when everybody else was dying around him, when his team had 29 deaths, Nightstar only died once, was 4-1-3, and actually still managed to pump out quite a decent amount of damage. He did about 20,000 damage, and in comparison, just to give you an idea of that, only did about 12,700 here. So he almost doubled the next person on his team.
Yeah, I mean, Nightstar was definitely the shining light here for Conviction throughout this series, and I'm excited to see this Conviction squad move a bit further. I'm not sure if they're in the T1 here at UGP. We can maybe get some confirmation in that a little bit, but whether it's here or UPL or anywhere else, I mean, this Conviction squad definitely looked pretty strong, even with some substitutions that they ended up making, and it takes a lot to even put up that sort of fight against a team like Wildcard.
Sure. And you know what, Grapes? It's been 2 long days with lots of games, lots of great close games here. And I am so happy that we got to do this. Thank you, Grapes, for joining me on this. And I believe we have one last round of ad reads, Grapes. Take that away.
Yep. Once again, before we close this out, just want to thank our beautiful sponsors here supporting us all the way through: Explore Edmonton, NorQuest, Pepsi, Memory Express, Alberta Innovates, ESIO, and ATB. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for all the time that you guys have given us. And also to the viewers at home, thanks for watching us watch some League of Legends. Some of the games were a bit, we're not super close. I mean, this Wildcard Red, so not
talking about it was close.
Not the closest games, but we did have some good games. We had the game with Conviction, we had Striking Vipers games, and of course the main story of today and the main story of the weekend is just Wildcard Red completely dominating the Rift. And so looks like not much new news to spread around, RMC, but I'm happy that we got to do this together. Thank you everybody once again for watching here at the NorQuest Esports Series, and we'll say farewell for now.